Hi folks, at the bathtub again to test a bunch of lures, homemade lures. Actually the first bunch I've completed in 2015. Here's a crankbait made of PVC hard foam. Actually I made this one for a workmate. He intends to use them for zander in the Elbe River. Yeah, tight wiggle, works nice. Would dive about, well, 5 feet I suppose. He intends to use these lures whilst doing night fishing for zander with bait from the groin. So he said if you would see zander hunting there, he would cast these lures. Here's the second one for him. One is painted in pearl, very light, and this one is painted in black. Actually they're the same shape. Yeah, works nice as well. The lips on these ones are painted. I haven't used transparent lexan for the lips, but epoxy plate, so I decided to paint them. Here's the third one of the same shape. This one I will keep for myself. Painted in a blue, kind of blue shed pattern. Yeah, they all work nice. They have a through wire harness, and the harness slot in the belly has been filled up with lead sheet, so as the ballast. And here's another small crankbait made of abachi wood, also through wired, with a wire harness in the belly slot, filled up with lead sheet for ballast. Also works nice. Yeah, pretty much satisfied with this one. All lures again hand painted with acrylic enamel. And here is an abachi banana lure with a tail spin. I decided not to put ballast into this lure. You see it floats up very high, even is a little bit tail heavy. But I did a blank test. So you see this one swims in a wave pattern, doesn't dive very deep, maybe just 1 foot. And actually you can use it as a diving jerk as well, by ripping it under the surface and letting it rise again. I know such a retrieve pattern of such a lure could also coax some strikes of pike that are orientated towards shallow water. What I found is with the blank I've taped some ballast to the belly, but this ballast did significantly decrease the action, so I decided to leave this lure unweighted. And here's one jointed lure, also through wired. Actually only the lower joining eyes are through wired. The upper ones are cast with epoxy into blind holes. But nevertheless, the lower wire harness is through wired, so nothing should happen. Increase of failure. This is a shallow diver painted in a rainbow trout pattern. And since last year we've had 2 pike attack hooked rainbow trout. I'm thinking these rainbow patterns could be quite successful in one particular fishing pond of our club. Here's another one in the rainbow pattern, lathe-turned from a poplar broomstick, bit larger lure with a self-centering line tie. close to blowing out. Close to blowing out. Well, it's okay. Hangs quite deep in the water since it has some lead ballast embedded between the belly hook hangers here. If my memory serves me right, these were 3 7mm lead balls embedded into the belly somewhere here. The strong action is because of the longer lower part of the Z-lip or pikey lip. I'm not quite sure whether I like this action, but I must have Pike have the last word on that. Okay, this one should dive maybe 7-8 feet. Due to the ballast, it's not that much buoyant. Another rainbow trout pattern, well, with a big pinned lip, also has a self-centering line tie. The ballast naturally sits in the rear, where my name is written on about that place to counterbalance the big lip. And still, you see, it's still floating up, nose heavy, barely floats. I couldn't place more ballast since I want my lures to rise at a certain speed to pop off obstacles. So this one will go down 10 to 15 feet, rather more 15 than 10, I think. You see, the bathtub is too small to test this one. Also has quite a strong wobble, but won't blow out. I know by experience that this self-centering line ties, they are very trustful. Never had a lure going out of track with this line tie construction. Okay, one more. Just got some difficulties now to clip it into the snap. Alright, now I got it. The difficulties result because of the line tie construction. Is also a self-centering line tie, which I found in the book The Art of Lure Fishing by Charlie Battelle, an English book. Don't know if you can see it. There's a bead in the back here and the line tie, so it moves. Yeah, this one has a not such a pronounced rolling action like the one in the trout pattern. Actually, I prefer this kind of action to such lures. Also, last turn from a poplar broom handle. What I found about these lures, they're quite large for our local pike, and they cast very nice due to their streamlined shape. Also has some weight embedded here, and I think one behind the rear belly hook hanger. 3 lead balls, 7mm. They would also work without ballast, I think, if you make the lower part of the lip a bit smaller. Well, I wanted this lure also to go down to 7 feet. You could also fish them like a diving jerkbait, rip them down, let them rise, rip them down, let them rise. You can do that over weed beds where the weed is maybe 2 to 3 feet below the surface. They work pretty well there. I've caught pike with such lures in such conditions before. And finally, another jointed lure. Very similar to the first one, but with a deep diving lip this time. Yeah, also swims nice. Yeah. These lures have ballast embedded in the belly slot of the front section. The ballast is here, right to the front, and the first half of the rear, because I didn't want the tail to be so heavy. Worked pretty nice. This one will go down 5-6 feet, I suppose. Jointed lures do not always dive that deep compared to one-piece lures if they had the same lip and line tie configuration. That's what I found. This one is painted in a kind of Zander pattern, also hand painted with by brushing and with acrylic paints. Alright, that was my little lure test for today. Hope you liked it. Goodbye.